Ladies and gentlemen, your anchor from Team Sweet, please welcome Kevin Townley!
Oh, I won't need that, Matt, but that's very sweet of you. Well, we've heard a lot of cogent arguments on both sides, ladies and gentlemen, and I really have to, I really want to extend my appreciation, my respect for the lively debate that our competitors have presented us here with this evening. And true to his word, Eric did not go low, and I appreciate that. He simply pandered to the Zabar's crowd here on the Upper West Side. I thought our argument was very nicely concluded by the gent's statement, nobody wants to eat that meatball. Because many potentially sweet dates that have gone sour they put the kibosh on it with that statement. Nobody wants to eat that meatball. And of course, as Eric also proved, there's nothing sweeter than low-hanging fruit. It can go both ways, ladies and gentlemen, however you want to dice it. Sweet versus savory. Now, there's been a lot of, I think, cutting, icy remarks made at the expense of how sweetness is presented, the sort of aesthetics of sweet. But in this day and age, when you can go to the Metropolitan Opera, ladies and gentlemen, one of the great bastions of culture in our fair city, you can go to Symphony Space, as I did just a couple of weeks ago to see a very elegant, delightful performance, and people were wearing yoga pants. And you know what happens when someone has been sitting in a theater seat for a long time in yoga pants. They leave a savory odor behind. And it's completely unpleasant. And as we enter into the holiday season, whatever holiday you prefer to celebrate, of course, sweetness welcomes it all, because as I think early on Eric was saying sweet isn't a flavor, and I concur with that. Sweet is a state of mind. It's an attitude. It's a buoyancy as well as an approach to cuisine. Whereas savory is a flavor, but it's also a nefarious strategy to mask unpleasant meat products that don't look nice. They don't look good on a tree. And I think we should just remember that. Aesthetics stand for something, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't move here to New York, many of us, to live in Cincinnati or Bavaria. One of the great works. Sure, Germany gave us Hitler, all right. They also gave us E.T.A. Hoffmann, who wrote the Nutcracker, which Tchaikovsky turned into a beautiful dance routine for this lady in a fruity-looking outfit. This is the dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. Sugar, it's sweet, it's delightful, it inspires young people for generations. You don't get a savory dancing routine with a dancing taco. No, you don't want that. Even if you think it seems like a good idea, I'm here to speak from experience. You don't want that. When a Sugar Plum Fairy dances around, what she leaves behind her are sugary plums. Now that sounds charming, delightful, nice, decorative, elegant. What does a dancing taco leave behind? Slop. It looks like the bedroom floor of an undergraduate at Pace University, ladies and gentlemen, and nobody wants that in their lives. Now, a little something intimate, something personal about me. Many years ago, about 7 years ago this June, I was a barfly, ladies and gentlemen. I was drunk, I was washed up, a complete has-been, and I needed help. I knew because I watched this movie, Barfly, and I like, just as a side note, that Mickey Rourke and Faye Dunaway's names are swapped, but you kind of can't tell them apart. And this is a complete caveat, and I hope you'll bear with me, but could you imagine being on a more nightmarish film set than Barfly, where the two leads are these divas, Mickey Rourke and Faye Dunaway, where he's playing a character based on Charles Bukowski, and what were they eating, I'm sure, at that bar? Salted nuts. But I needed to clean up my act, so I stopped drinking, and what helped me to replace the sweet taste of the cocktail, which was well, with a salted rim, you know, so I was kind of straddling two horses, as you could say. It was switching to gummy bears. I switched to gummy bears. Sweetness sugar helped me to stay sober. And so I really appreciate sugar for that. It's a lifesaver. Literal, also delicious. A delicious candy. Now, another thing that saved my life in this period was music. And Jen was talking about Jess. Oh my God, I'm what a dick. I gotta confess something. I'm a little addle-brained because I ate a lot of sodium earlier in the day. You know, people talk about New York. Oh, I can't stay out till 4 a.m. anymore. I can't stay out like I used to when I was 19. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can't eat sodium past 9 p.m. without being completely wrecked the next day. Anywho, what Jess was saying was that we're just talking about music, and I did a search. I was like, is there a band? Is there a band called Savory? And it turns out there is. There is a band called Savory. I think they're like a Norwegian death metal band, but they don't have a big online presence, because whenever I typed in like savory heavy metal music, just a confused woman looking at I think it's a Huevos Rancheros bowl came up, which is not, doesn't bode well for Savory in my humble opinion. And then I Googled, is there a band called Sweet? Well, yes, there is, ladies and gentlemen. There is a band called Sweet, one of the greatest rock outfits of the 1970s. And if you've forgotten how incendiary their music is, how sweet the Sweet music sound was, well, we've got it for you here tonight. Would you hit it, Chris? Are you ready, Jess?
Yeah.
Kate?
Yeah.
Matt?
Yeah!
All right, fellas, let's go! Oh, I've been working so hard, living with the things you do to me. Oh, I've been watching, dreaming, things are getting stranger every day. Turn that music up, it's rock and roll. There's a man in the back, and a matter of fact, his eyes are as red as the sun. And a girl in the corner who's something I forget. She's a sexy one. Everybody was waving, and the music was grooving, everybody was moving, and the man in the back said everybody talking to the wrong place, and the girl in the corner said, oh my God, I want you to take it to the wrong place, all the place, all the place, all the place, all the place. All right, let's get to know this sweet-looking audience. All right, come over here. Ma'am, what is your favorite candy? Reaching out for something, touching nothing's all I ever do. Oh, I keep moving smoothly, but when you show me there's nothing left to you. All right, we're gonna do it. There's a man in the back, ready to jump, who has the light of the sky, and a girl in the corner says, oh, anyone, wheel you with a wink of an eye. Everybody was breaking, everybody was moving, everybody was grooving, And the man in the back said, everybody talking and turning to the ballroom bliss. And the girl in the corner said, oh, but I want you to turn it to a ballroom bliss. Now there have been some good points made about the health risks of sugar diabetes, but there's a lot of fabulous people living with diabetes, ladies and gentlemen. Sharon Stone, a Jonas brother, Vanessa Williams, H.G. Wells, not living, but he's pretty awesome. Brett Michaels, too many sweet ladies. No, forget it. But my favorite, the person who refuses to redefined my diabetes. The diva-beatus, Miss Patty LaBelle. And to celebrate sin, I brought some sweet diabetic candy for you all. Enjoy! It's sweet, but it doesn't have sugar. And it has some sharp corners though, so I apologize. You've earned it. All right. Okay, so this goes to show you don't gotta be full of pork sausage to pander to an audience. You've been sweet. Thank you so much.